Hey, this is Robbie from PPRN All Things Sports, and you're listening to PPRN.
What's going on? This is Brandon from Valemaya, and you're listening to PPRN.
What's up? This is Mark from Valemaya, and you're listening to PPRN.
Don't forget to listen to Peter Pinho Show, only on PPRNradio.net. He's brown, he's round, he's Janet Jackson nasty. He's your mama's side dude. He's Peter Pinho, and he is on PPRNradio.net.
The sun and the air.
Here's a fake spike. Touchdown! Pittsburgh! James Marino. Fake to the spike. Antonio Brown one-on-one outside on Leon McFadden. What a throw by Roethlisberger. One timeout. Prescott throws. Pass is caught. And Witt stays on his feet.
Personal foul. Got the face mask. Defense number 31.
Maybe as importantly, it saves a timeout. It's Elliott. Elliott for the touchdown. No flags. Cowboys lead. There was 1 second left on the play clock when this ball was snapped. And that rookie combination of Prescott and Elliott. What a game for Elliott. 209 yards from scrimmage.
On the shyness that was criminally vulgar. I am the son of nothing in particular.
Well, 3. You don't have 3. Here we go. Brian.
Oh, thank you.
All right, everybody. What's up? It's All Things Sports Monday. Your host, Robbie, over there. Brian. What? You're not
What happened to the intro, man, huh?
Oh, you want? Hang on. Sorry about that. Hang on.
That's why you like to see a guy run on 3-1.
What's the matter?
You're going to get a pitch that hits.
Oh.
There's no way Cat was expecting that there goes Ortiz. He's still holding the ball. He's halfway to second base.
A little bit over there. Leading back toward the bag. Another base hit for Hairston. He's 2 for 2. Puig goes flying into third. Look at the throw by Gerardo Parra. And they got him.
Backing up Branson. Saturday Night
Live from Hamden. It's Monday night. It's All Things Sports Live. With the stars, Bob Clark, Peter Pinho.
I played the wrong theme.
And Brian D'Angelo.
And Tina Fey.
With our special guest tonight, Jeff Dooley, voice of the Hartford Yardgoats, joining us.
All right, good to be here.
And now, here's our host, Robbie Clark.
Good evening,
We're so unprofessional.
I like it. I like
we
it.
are
I did.
live here in Hampton, Connecticut.
Oh, you need to be on to talk, don't you, buddy? Go ahead.
Well, you should have had me on.
Oh, see, that's better. I had Ricky
So
on.
the unprofessional really shows on you right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
we'll get to us later.
All right.
But okay, so where's the beer opener? No, I'm just kidding.
I pay the rent.
All righty. Thank you.
Right.
We are live in Hampton. It is the first day of pitchers and catchers reporting, and what better to have...
Pitchers and catchers. Are you talking of like a porn?
No.
Some kind of porn?
Baseball.
That's football.
Okay.
Debbie does. That's what you're thinking of. You're way off.
All right. We
All
gotta
right,
be,
go ahead.
you know PPRN. We got to be careful how we announce it. Pitchers and catchers.
Yes, pitchers and catchers.
Okay, meaning
for
baseball.
The MLB for baseball.
Meaning that my Saturday show is preempted because of, excuse my language, fucking baseball. I have a UConn show with Jeff, and UConn preempts me every time they have a sports game. So my show is from 5 to 7, and they're doing a doubleheader on Saturday from Florida. Figures they're playing baseball in February, UConn.
Well, sports always supersedes
preempts. They call it preempts.
The show, yeah, it's the higher ratings, But
it's nice though because I'll be following baseball, so my ratings will stay up nice. And I followed the girls Saturday. How awesome was that?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, the girls did really, really good Saturday. So thank God I followed them right after their show was done. So
I think my mic. There I am.
You got to bring it up closer.
Am I back now or?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
There you go. Sorry,
I'm gonna eat this thing. That's
no,
okay.
you can actually pull it towards you. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy from that day, he's an idiot.
All right.
I don't know why he does that.
So pitchers and catchers reported today around the
Thank
MLB. And some teams are also reporting tomorrow. Some teams are today, and the rest of
why is college starting
tomorrow.
so early?
College?
Yeah, why are they starting in February? That means they were training in January?
Yeah, they get after it early. A lot of the colleges do. A lot of the ones in the Northeast, they'll take trips out west and they'll play in Arizona. A lot of the teams will go to Florida, just obviously with the weather conditions.
Listen to his radio voice.
I tell you what,
You know what? Wow, I was saying it's good.
You know.
He's right where he needs to be. I'm humbled. Right.
Stop it, guys.
What are you saying?
They get after it right when the kids come back after the first of the year. It seems like it's baseball all the time, and they get ready to kick it off for real.
Yeah, they were like, here, you want a radio show? Yeah, but all right, then you're going to get preempted by March Madness, freaking baseball, hockey.
Well, you know what?
Hockey went into overtime last Saturday.
That's show business for you, right?
I know.
But Jeff, when you agree, like as soon as football ends, they should jump right into it because with every weekend you're already like, what the hell am I going to do? Well, let's just move on.
They're doing double headers, Brian.
Yeah, well, good.
Well, especially in college, they really have to because they need to get the schedule in, and there's just so few days. They have to finish their college baseball schedule. The kids get out like in late May for college, so
How long is the game? How long is the game usually? College?
A couple hours.
Couple hours, 2 hours. Yeah, so they're starting at 11. They should be done by 4.
He's already planning his show.
Yeah, I got him, man.
That's right.
Come on, man. Rock preempts.
So this is just like, I see. So get the game over with, get back to you.
Fuck yeah.
Saying. Right.
All right.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Robbie, who do we got in the studio, man?
We got
Jeff
Mr.
Dooley,
Jeff
right?
Dooley.
He's the radio man for
the Hartford Yard Goats.
Sure. Speaking of the Yard Goats, everybody's still. Let's just right to the chase. What's going on? Are we opening this year?
Yeah, we are. We're opening.
Good.
I know we said that before, but we are opening.
Well, it was written. I don't know if it's your fault, but it was written, and everyone was like, it's
Everybody in the other end of the speakers are going, fucking ask him.
Yeah, it was.
It's going to happen. I was actually at the ballpark just last week, and they're making huge strides. There's a new construction company in, and it's unbelievable. I mean, what they've done since day one. It's just incredible to see this facility. And it's a 360 ballpark, so fans will have the opportunity. We have a chance now to bring baseball and deliver like we never have before at the minor league level. It's a 360 ballpark, so you can go to the game 5 different times and have 5 completely different experiences. And if you're there as a fan and you want to hang out with your kids and then say, you know what, after watching a couple innings behind the plate, let's try to go up to the home run seats, to the home run porch in right field, try and catch a home run. You have the opportunity to do that. There's a sports bar, actually, which I think is going to be a big hit above on the second deck in center field. So everyone that has a ticket to go in will actually be allowed at that sports bar. There's more of a private YG club, but yes, it's a 360
you can see the whole city.
concourse. And you can see the city from there, too. So the backdrop is beautiful. I mean, it really does, for the television games and for a lot of the crowd shots that you'll see on the news.
Television, like what, Fox 61? Or on
well, all the games are broadcast on MLB.TV.
Oh, okay.
So it's all streamed through minor league baseball. So it'll be a kind of a TV broadcast.
Is that because you're affiliated with the Rockies, or?
No, all the AA and AAA teams of all the organizations
nice.
Get televised. Yeah, which is really cool.
That's exciting to have Hartford to be affiliated with someone professional.
I agree. Listen,
like we had faith in our Huskies for a while, but then
it's awesome, and the players are really the Eastern League baseball is really, really close. We had 6 guys from last year's Yard Goats team go directly to the big leagues. So they went. They played for both the Yard Goats and the Colorado Rockies during the same year. 6 is on the high side. I mean, it's not uncommon to have 1 or 2. on that same year, but to have 6 the same year was a pretty special team. And the Rockies have done a really good job with the draft and selecting guys. They've also, played a pretty big role in acquiring guys with trades. So we think that this is going to help us, and our fans will get to see some of the best players in minor league baseball. And you look at last year, for Red Sox fans that listen to you guys, Andrew Benintendi, who finished the season in Boston.
Top prospect right now in the
MLB.
he
was top prospect, but our fans got a chance to see him play when he played for the Portland Sea Dogs.
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
Did you feel, Jeff, the guys that went, the 6 guys that went? Now you watched them, broadcasted all year. You probably watched them develop. Did you really get that feel? Because I'm sure you see some players, But will you feel these guys have a chance to make it in the big leagues?
Yeah, I think all 6 were very impressive. Matt Kiricitti's a kid that left us just after the All-Star break in July. He's actually a Berlin kid, so he grew up really a central Connecticut guy.
That was my next question going to be, were they local guy?
Yeah, he was the only one. He was the only Connecticut kid that had a chance to go up. I think we had Devin Burke, so we had 2 Connecticut kids on the team from last year, but the kids are from all over, not only the country, but all over the world. But it was great watching Matt go up, and he actually was at AAA for just a couple of weeks and then went up to the big leagues, and he still led the Eastern League in saves. So he put together such a dynamite beginning of the season, and his records obviously showing that what he did his first year with the Yardgoats. And we had a chance to have him back at our hot stove luncheon, and he talked about pitching against the Philadelphia Phillies, his first major league win, coming against the Chicago Cubs, who obviously won the World Series last year. So pretty cool how you can bring all that close to home. And here was a yard goat from the 2016 season. Pretty cool.
Now,
pretty cool for you.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome, yeah.
I'm from Naugatuck, and the last person that we've had as a professional athlete was Spec Shea with the Yankees. But recently we have someone who was with the Minnesota Twins, who was on the New Britain Rockcats, Pat D, and I don't know if you remember him.
I know Pat. Chance. Yeah, I know Pat extremely well. Yeah.
How well do you think he's adapted his game? Because remember watching an interview on Fox, they said that he had to work on his breaking pitches. Do you feel like he would still be in the MLB because he just recently signed with the Japan team? Do you think he was built to be a major league pitcher?
Yeah, it's so difficult, the best of the best to weed out, and he pitched well. I know he's a Boston College kid as well, and I had a chance to know him when he came through the Rockcats. I was the broadcaster there for a lot of years, and he's someone that's easy to root for. I mean, I love those Connecticut kids first and foremost, but to have a kid that was actually not only a terrific athlete but a really good person as well. He did a lot of our community appearances, and he was the guy that some of the Rockcats at the time would lean on as to where to live and where to go out and what to do because he obviously knew the area.
Yeah.
But no, he was a really special talent. I think obviously it helped being a left-handed pitcher. If you're a lefty, you're going to get an extra look. Sometimes you're going to get a second and third look as well if you can throw the ball hard like he is, like he can. So it was very rewarding to see him go up to do what he did at the major league level last year. And hopefully he gets a chance to come back. I mean, you could always go to Japan for a season and then you have a chance to come back and sign on with a team. But he's a terrific kid and someone that I certainly love to root for.
So last year we were just talking about how they couldn't play any games in Hartford last year. So what was it like announcing games last year away from Hartford instead of
It was interesting. It was interesting. And I do the broadcasts along with Dan Lavallo. So I didn't have all 142 games last year. I did, first and foremost, I don't want to think I was on the road for the whole 6 months because that wasn't the case. Dan did a lot of the early games. And there was so much information out there. At first, we thought we were going to start the season a little bit later at home on May 31st, and then we thought possibly in June. And then when obviously the city informed everyone that they were terminating the construction company and that we were actually not going to be able to get into the ballpark this season, then we realized that, well, we are going to be on the road for the whole entire season. So it was not an ideal situation, but you just you have a job to do, and that's broadcast baseball, bring it to the fans. I also handle the media relations and making sure that our reporters got the information, that want to cover the game that night. Some of them did travel to some of the games. We played some games on the other side of the state at Dodge Stadium in Norwich. Some of the games were in New England. We played some games up in New Hampshire. We played some games in Binghamton, New York, as opposed to the rest of, in addition, I should say, to the rest of the road games in the Eastern League schedule. So it wasn't something that you'd want to do every year, but somehow, some way we got through it. Our players were wonderful. Our league partners are wonderful, and they always said, we'll write that in our book when we get to the big league sometime. We'll have a whole chapter on our 2016 season on the road. Doesn't happen every year.
Yeah.
That's great. You were able to overcome that challenge because I read the article, good article about you that was last year in the Hartford Kern, and congratulations. I guess you had been given an award in broadcasting.
Oh, thank
like
you.
And,
I appreciate that.
And honestly, it was weird because I read the article, Jeff, and I'm thinking like, okay, this was written last year, and then I was like, wait a minute, they haven't even. And all the topic was getting in, playing late on the road, but getting into Dunkin' Donuts Park, and then, like you said, it never happened, and Robbie kind of got it out. It was just a frustration level. It must have been a lot for, on all levels. But like you said, you handled it, and you even have these players that are stepping up into the big leagues now. So obviously, it still was a successful
We
season.
did, and I can't say enough about our fan support. The fans have been wonderful, and I think that was the most difficult situation for our ownership group, who are wonderful and give back to the community. But knowing that at the end of the day, you feel bad, and sometimes when you work in this industry, you don't realize. You go to the ballpark. I'm very fortunate to do something that I love for a living, and to go to the ballpark every day, and sometimes you just think, well, it's a way of life. But for the fans, and I had a couple explain to me, Jeff, we work 9 to 5. Our release is going to the ball games. We love to go to and they get to know the players. Some of the season ticket holders will have barbecues and things like that. And for last season, there was none of that, and so there was some frustration. So we just really felt bad.
People were pissed.
Yeah, they that's what they do. They like to go to the games at night. So, but we're just proud to say that we're going to look forward to a terrific ballpark. And one of the things that we wanted to emphasize is that we want to make sure that we get the facility that they told us they were going to build us, and it's just second to none. I've been doing this for a long time, and it's one of the best. Minor league facilities.
Can we just give a shout out to our beloved state that we've grown our PPRN in?
Absolutely.
Can we just be Can we be PPRN blunt about it? Give the fucking stadium a break, man. They had a hard time. Go visit them. This guy just came all the way down there. He's in a freaking closet in Hamden. Okay, he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't even know if this is like a fake YouTube video, or if he's just going to get served up, or there's going to be girls walking in. No, seriously, give the stadium a break. Things happen. This whole state was built on mistakes, believe it or not.
Yeah, sure.
I was there from groundbreaking because I used to work for a utility marketing company, and we were the guys that had to go before you guys even thought of building. So I've been there, and I've watched the stadium grow. And what it was is it wasn't that they weren't working diligently. I was watching this whole thing every time because every time a new fence or something had to go up, we had to go out there and mark it out.
Right.
And they were working. It just was. I don't think there was enough talk between the state and the actual workers.
Yeah, I mean, we're basically we're the tenant. So we're we can't do a whole lot till they actually give us the ballpark. So we're just, and that's what we had to let people know too. I mean, where the city actually is building the ballpark, so we can't do a whole. So there was some misinformation out there.
They got it, but they weren't happy with it, and just
we got a caller. Caller, you're live on PPRN with Jeff Dooley. You're from the Hartford Yardgoats.
Hey, Peter, it's Mike from the Screaming Eagle, man.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
I want to just give congratulations to the Hartford Yardgoats for finally bringing the team next year, you know what I mean, with everything that they've gone through with that this year and everything.
Well, thank you.
Last year, I should say, with being on the road. Great job, you guys.
Well, thank you. This is, and I appreciate the phone call and you checking in, and, I urge you to check out a game or two this year. The ballpark is unbelievable. It's you're going to have a chance to see baseball at the minor league level that you haven't seen before. And, one of the things that we promised was $5 parking and a $6 ticket. And that's going to be the case. It's going to be family entertainment. The ticket prices will range between, $6 and I think $18 if you buy them in advance. So it's.
So are we going to be competing with the Bridgeport Sound Tigers or no?
Well,
or did we?
Bridgeport Sound Tigers are hockey.
That's not Sound Tigers.
Are you talking about the
Bluefish? Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how much I know Bridgeport, okay? Relax.
I can see where you really have those gripes at
Actually,
UConn.
my wife works for VCA, and They do a lot. They do pucks and not pucks and paws. They do bark at the park.
Okay, sure.
So
yeah, it's
at those prices, you absolutely cannot beat that. That's amazing. And I am looking forward to going to the games and stuff.
Yeah.
And, as Pete knows, I play in a local band here in Connecticut, and I was wondering if maybe you guys are going to be doing anything with, like maybe having some local bands open up, a show or something like that, or have like a post-concert after a game or something like that. Is that something you guys interested in doing or looking at?
I can talk to the person and no, I appreciate the phone call. I just don't want to give you the wrong answer on that. We do have someone that does events, and that would be the person that you should talk to about doing something like that. But it's a little bit interesting in the fact that we're not in the facility yet. We're about to get in there. I think sometime early next month. So. It's still kind of, even though we know what it looks like, the image, okay, how do we do this? How do we get a concert in? How do we get a concert out? But we are, and it's one of the things that we did say we would do, have additional events besides the Yard Goats. We've talked about doing a couple of concerts and, maybe...
right. It's the whole venue right now is like kind of riding a bike again with the park. But, and just as you said it before, I have a friend who works for Verizon who gave me a little inside information. He was just there doing some of the electrical work inside. And like you were saying, Jeff, he says it's phenomenal. He goes, the people are going to love this place.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Really, really looking good.
And you can check out the pictures on. There's a million photos. Google it, yardgoatsbaseball.com.
Sure.
But when you go in this facility, it just grabs you. And everyone says, Jeff, we've seen the pictures. It doesn't do justice, and it really doesn't. You look in this facility, and then you see the skyline of Hartford, and you're like, wow, this is really cool. And this is my stadium. It's your stadium. It's our stadium. And I think it's something that people are going to really be proud of.
What's with the Dunkin' Donut cheers? What is that for? Like special, the orange or the?
Yeah, that's orange? The Dunkin' Dugout. And Dunkin' Donuts is part of their contract.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, so they're going to have.
Have a great day, and I look forward to catching it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations again.
All right, thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Call. So Dunkin' Donuts they're going to have tickets to give to underprivileged kids. To bring them out to the game.
Okay.
So they'll have some seats that are along the left field side that will be the Dunkin' Dugout, and the kids will get, caps and things like that. So it's going to be really, really cool. It's all about, giving back to the community. Obviously, we have a great product. We have minor league baseball, but we know that with our team, we can do work in the community, and we can really try to help things out, whether it's kids learning about baseball, whether it's getting kids to get to school with attendance reward programs. We just think that we can offer a lot.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if in our listeners or people out there, and obviously you're here right now, but I'm saying this with conviction that the minor league baseball experience to me as a father, I take my two girls, out, removed from New York. It's fantastic. I mean, if people out there haven't been to a game, or I'm telling you right now, you cannot go to a game and not have a great time.
Well, it's fun. It's fun
on every level. It's a carnival atmosphere, and I'm thrilled. I mean, I'm really psyched. And I know a lot of people in Hartford, and it's a lot for the young kids, but mostly it's just. You're going to have a lot more fun, obviously, at a cheaper price, and you feel like a real, kind of hair standing up feeling when you're coming from your house 10 minutes away to a ballpark this nice, instead of driving and fighting all the crap in New York. This is your home team, so I think you're going to get a lot of support.
That's nice of you to say. We appreciate that.
I really feel that way.
Now, to combat the traffic, they were talking about a tunnel, weren't they?
Oh, boy, that's above my pay grade.
All right. I think they were talking about a tunnel, but I'm not sure if the tunnel was to...
Jeff, you don't know about the tunnel? I mean, what?
Well, no. I don't know if the tunnel was to alleviate the traffic of the games or of the new casino coming.
Yeah, I don't want to speak. I'm not sure, but I can tell you the location of the ballpark is unbelievable. It's at the corner.
It's not too far from the XL Center.
No. It's exactly where the Radisson is XL Center. It's like...
It's actually sitting on the Waterbury exit.
Yeah.
But it is. It's where 91 and 84 come together.
Yeah.
So you've got, if you're in Springfield area, you fly by it. If you're coming through, up from Hamden, New Haven, you're on 91, you come to it. And then the same with 84. So, I mean, it is a spectacular spot.
It's the focus. Everything leads to that, and people look at it, they talk about it, and then, and they say, all right, well, when are we going to a game? I mean, because
it's going to be fun. And like you said, I mean, it's more about the entertainment, although I would love every fan, and I'm a baseball guy, to sit at the edge of the seat. And, the reality is that we put these hospitality areas together because people want to be social. They want to sit here for a couple of innings, move around, get a bite to eat. Yeah, if the Yard Goats win, they win. If they lose, they lose. It's not the end of the world. But it is really about the experience of going there and fireworks basically every Friday and Saturday night.
Fields.
Fireworks.
Come on, fireworks!
Fireworks every Friday, Saturday night.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, giveaways. I mean, you can check the promotional schedule. So you may buy a $6 ticket, walk in, you're going to get a T-shirt for free.
That's
and
awesome.
Maybe a fireworks show. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on, and we just can't wait to get going.
As a baseball fan, Jeff, I mean, you've probably been to some other major league parts. Have you been to the Philadelphia Park? What is it called? Citizens?
I have not. I have not been to Citizens Bank.
And I will tell you this, and maybe you can make a comparison, but it's great, and I love it as of all the parks. And my brother-in-law lives in Philly. Is that it's open? You can walk around. You go to a restaurant. It's really. I don't think it's about being in your seat anymore. You want to be in your seat, fine, but I think you want to be able to get up, walk around, visit this bar, go get a drink here, get something there, and then be entertained in all areas of the park without just being glued to your seat.
Yeah,
and I kind of get the feeling that's what this park is about.
That's exactly what it's about, is just making sure that fans can go up and they don't have to go too far to get food and beverage, that everything's around there, that they can walk around. The 360 to me is the real cool thing. I remember when I saw it at the minor league level for the first time, I went out there and just took a bunch of pictures in the outfield. I'm like, this is so cool. I'm behind the outfield. And obviously it was before the game when they were taking batting practice, but for fans to have that experience now where they can catch a home run, whether it's during the game or whether it's batting practice.
It wasn't like that with the Rockets.
You just couldn't do it. Just with the facility, it just didn't allow that. It's a different ball game now. It really is. Even though the venue itself is a bigger setup, it's amazing. These newer facilities, they bring you closer to the action. When you're on that second level and you're at first base, it's like you're just above the first baseman's head. It's really amazing how they build these new ballparks.
So, what is it going to be like this year? Because I don't know if it's supposed to happen this year or next year, but I've heard that minor league baseball is thinking about getting rid of the intentional walk because Major League Baseball, they're trying to fasten the game, so because too many complaints about how the game's so slow, and they're thinking about getting rid of the intentional walk. There's a pitch clock. Now, what do you think of all these rule changes? Are you with it or are you against it?
Well, the pitch clock stuff was adapted to the minor league level a couple of years ago. So we've had you'll see them at Dunkin' Donuts Park. They've got these huge clocks. There's one in center field. Thought there was no clock in baseball, right? There actually is.
Yeah.
There's one at the first base side, one at the third base side, one behind the plate. And they make sure that the batter has an allotted time. They don't want him walking around and taking as much time as you'd see David Ortiz.
1 foot out of the batter's box.
Yeah, exactly. And then the pitcher, too. Our manager had seen it. They first adopted it 2 years ago in the Arizona Fall League. And our manager at the time, Darren Everson, who since moved on to AAA, told me, he said, Jeff, because the media locally, and actually not even locally, nationally, they're making a big deal of it. And he said, Jeff, I've seen it firsthand. It's not a big deal. There's going to be a couple of things that we're going to argue during the course of the season, but it's really not going to be a distraction to the game. And he was absolutely right. You basically don't even know it's there. So that's one of the things that they've adopted. I have heard about the not throwing to save the arm for the intentional walk. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, because now you're really changing the
you're changing baseball. Like, I can tell you, for instance, I was watching a Yankee game last year, and Dellin Betances went to intentionally walk a batter, and he threw right over the catcher's head. And it's like, for me at least, it's like you're taking the game away from me, because anything can happen in the intentional pitch.
You're absolutely right.
It's boring to watch to see someone throw it 4 straight times, but sometimes there's that one instance where someone can mess up.
Well, I'll tell you, I was on the microphone for one of them. It was one of the most amazing things that I've seen. I broadcast college basketball as well. It was an intentional walk, wild pitch with a runner at third base to win the game. It was actually on the Top 10 Sports Center.
Yeah,
that night.
I actually remember
seeing that.
Yes.
And it was against the Fisher Cats. It was the Rock Cats at the time. And the guy was intentionally walking him, threw it all the way to the backstop, guy at third base. And I mean, that's the way the game ended. On an intentional walk, guy threw a wild pitch.
That's awesome. I got one of the fans asking if they're going to put a man on second for extra inning.
Yes, I heard about
That's
that.
the other thing they've talked about, and I haven't heard anything since then. But they've talked about that at the lower levels. I don't think you'll see that at the higher levels, AA or AAA.
So start off
might
like
see it in rookie. I don't even know it's single A. Might see it in rookie ball. They might start them in rookie ball doing that.
All right, so we talked about the Hartford Yard Goats. How did Jeff get started? How did you get started? I'm talking about it in the third person. How did you get started as a sportscaster? What was your first? Because I'm not really a sportscaster. I'm not even a shock jock, whatever. DJ.
We don't really know what you are.
I don't know what I am.
Right.
But when I sit here and I listen to sports people going, and I gotta really appreciate what you do, is because you gotta memorize all these names. Obviously, they're on the jerseys. But you're like, all right, here's Johnson. He's coming down the court. Passes over to Curtin. Curtis picks up the ball. Curtis jumps up the ball. Three-pointer.
Pretty good. That's impressive. Not bad. It really is.
Yeah, that's pretty good for
But you know what I mean? It's like,
try hockey.
How do you remember the names?
Hockey, my God.
Yeah, hockey's tough. Hockey's tough.
What makes you want to be a sport?
You
gotta be an auctioneer, don't you?
Yeah, basically.
Not in baseball. It's slowed down a bit.
And people always ask
baseball. Yeah, I can do it myself.
They say, is baseball? What's more difficult? And really, the broadcast is completely different. And then I switched from basketball radio, and now we're doing some ESPN stuff. So I'm doing TV now for ESPN3 for college basketball, and that is completely. Wow. But that's completely different too, because now obviously the viewers can see the picture, so you don't have to describe the action. Yeah. Where you have to really describe in basketball and baseball. But baseball is more of a you're pacing. You're making sure, you can tell some stories. I love the baseball where the crowd, it's almost sometimes like less is more. And people tell me that baseball is still the best on radio. When you out there at the picnics or just throw on the game, so I try to describe it. And people tease me all the time because I get really into the uniform colors. But I've had a lot of blind people tell me that I love that because I can picture what's in your mind. And for a broadcaster, a play-by-play guy, the best compliment that you can get is, wow, Jeff, you really put me in that front row. I felt like I was at the game that night. So, you try to do those type of things where you're bringing your listener into the ballpark. And whether it's the crowd sound, whether it's something that happens in the stands, or whether it's something on the field, you try to describe that best you can.
See, I always found that. I mean, baseball it's a little less intense as hockey.
There's so much downtime. Oh, hockey is hockey's
hockey's hard.
You know what?
Hockey's hard.
I think with baseball, I'm just wondering what your best home run call was, or everyone seems to have that little thing, back, or see ya, or from ESPN, but I don't know if you really feel that's an important part to have a little of that.
You gotta have a signature. No?
That's what everyone says. Right, I don't have one. I don't know what to. I just try to describe what's going on. Maybe I haven't found anything that works.
Are you looking for one, or you just
if you guys
are who we are, right?
Yeah.
My wife's gonna call me tonight.
If you have any suggestions, I think it was Jeff Jacobs of the Hartford Current. I think he said back. He wanted me to do the goat for yard goats. That's way back.
I think you know what?
That's
wow,
pretty clever.
That would have been.
I can't get credit for that. That's what. Right? Exactly. Yeah. So he teased me with that one. He said I'm going to have to work on that. But now nothing, honestly, is really – I just like to describe – instead of saying it's gone, especially on radio, I like describing what the outfielder's doing. So is he going back? Now with this ballpark in left field, he has the ability to rob a home run now. It's only 6 feet in left field.
I love that.
So now the ball's hit, and it's hit down the line. Here comes Chad Allen breaking back, going to his left. Right. Does he have a chance at it? Or was this one that is a second decker where he just basically looked down when the ball was hit? So to me, it's more important to describe how it left, what it looked like, as opposed to getting into
Did you go to school for this?
I did. I went to a small school in southern Maine, St. Joseph's College on Sebago Lake. And right away, I knew I wanted to be a broadcaster.
What do you think? You're obviously in my age group, low 30s. What do you think about the way radio's going now? Like to where you see these little pop-up studios now reaching just as many. And you know how hard it was to try to even get syndicated.
Right.
So now you see these little makeshift freaking iPod people popping up everywhere, and they're reaching, we reach at least 64 countries a week.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, do you think that's like...
It's really cool that fans or listeners that want to hear you now have the opportunity. Like with the Yard, like we're on iHeartMedia, so anyone in the world that wants to listen to the Yard Goats game can get it on their phone, in their car, wherever. So I just think the ability to reach this many people is it's awesome. And now with the same with the MILB.TV, you subscribe to this thing and you can basically get 300 games. You could go from the Yard Goats to watch the Sea Dogs to watch one of the AAA teams, Albuquerque, the Rockies AAA affiliate. It's very similar to the MLB Major League Baseball package. So I think it's really cool how fans that want to get to you have a chance to do that now. Where when we were in college and it was hard to get on, you had your show and that was about it. There was no going through the internet at that point. And now it's you have. I think it brings greater opportunity. I know when I first started and I got the first radio deal. Contract full time with the club, the Rockcats at the time, and we're in a small station in Southington, that I needed to have that radio because we didn't have the online presence. So basically, if I didn't get a radio deal done, I didn't have a job. So I had to make sure that I kind of facilitated everything and basically got myself a full time job that way.
I'm sorry, Pete. To hold the attention, I think, Jeff, and this is like with any sport, because the Hartford Whalers are no longer, in Hartford now. They came to Danbury, and we got into it in the Danbury hockey. We liked going to games, but what was really cool is when they were playing great, and then they made the playoffs, and now now it's the playoffs, so the fans got crazier and whatever. So I'm not really tell us our listeners where can the Hartford Yard Goats go this year? Like, okay, have a good season. How does it end to build that excitement, almost like championship type, World Series type,
Well, Eastern League
you're
playoffs,
really because everyone wants to be the champ.
Everyone loves a winner.
We want to be the Yard Goats. We want to be the best out there, and everyone else kiss our ass.
Right.
No pun intended. So,
Eastern League Championship is one of the things in Major League Baseball. They don't like the minor league seasons go too long because they want to call up their guys. They get several guys that are going to go up to the big leagues. Like I mentioned, we had 6 last year. Other guys will go to AAA. So they don't like to carry it out too long. So they do 2 best-of-5 series. There's a Eastern Division and a Western Division.
Okay, cool.
The top 2 teams in each division make it. They'll play a best-of-5, and then there'll be a best-of-5 for the Eastern League Championship. The Akron Rubber Ducks won last year.
Okay.
That's the AA affiliate of the Cleveland Indians. So you see some guys that, now Cleveland, obviously, Cleveland had a pretty good season with Terry Francona in the big leagues.
Cleveland won the championship?
Yeah, well.
So, they've got some guys at the minor league level, and then obviously the big club did pretty well also. So it's...
And is there pressure to really get to that? I mean, you want to take it as far as you can go. That's more games in the park. That's more revenue and more
We have no control of it.
I mean, you don't.
Yeah, the funny thing is that I do the radio and the media, and I'm a baseball guy, but we have zero control over our players. So it's not like the major league team where if they're having a rough season, people aren't going to go to the games. We're all about the experiences. We're telling people, hey, you know what? There's a chance we're good, but there's also a chance we might not be good.
Right.
But you're going to go to a game. It's going to be very inexpensive. You're going to have a great time. You're also going to see 3 or 4 guys that are going to make it to the big leagues with the Rockies.
That's what I agree.
Then maybe 3 or 4 guys that are going to make it with the Red Sox, Yankees, or Mets, depending on the affiliate that we're playing.
Yeah.
So, that's basically – and the other thing we can control is the family atmosphere and having a good time at the ballpark. But as for the team and the players and the rosters, as much we'd love the Rockies to listen to us where, hey, that kid you just signed and you sign him for $6 million, will you send him to Hartford, please? Yeah. And they'll smile and say, well, he'll get there at some point. But that's basically the way it works.
Here's a little bit about the park, too. Their hospitality is you can sit as closest to the catcher or sit as close to the catcher as the pitcher in one of our dugout suites presented by Datco, which is, I think it's a bus company or something, and Better Built Systems. They have party decks presented by Heineken and Sam Adams, which is good because there's a lot of people in Connecticut that drink beer. There's a town in Naugatuck that's got 33,000 people in 33 bars, so you can picture that. Celebrate summer and catch home a run in the Connecticut, like there's a picnic pavilion. Now, here's what caught my eye, especially being a food connoisseur.
All right. You're not going to go hungry at this ballpark.
Yeah.
I can tell you
have a Red Robin.
Well, Red Robin is
going to be catering?
No, they're. You know who's catering though? Have you had Bear's Barbecue?
No.
Oh, it's unbelievable. If you like barbecue, it is
phenomenal.
Unreal.
Okay, so Red Robin is just a sponsor?
Yeah, they're a sponsor. Yeah. But let me tell you this.
Hard Rock is supposed to. They're supposed to do something.
We're not really involved with that.
Okay.
Yeah, that has really nothing to do with the Yard Goats.
Okay.
Getting back to Red Robin, though, talk about winning, meaning something.
Right.
After every Yard Goat win, kids eat free at Red Robin the next day.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
how cool is that?
Yeah.
And we live in Milford, so we live like 5 minutes away from it.
Oh, awesome.
Obviously, you'll have a Dunkin' Donuts in there.
Yeah, there's a Dunkin' Donuts in there. There's two actually. There's a picnic area in center field, and there's actually two party decks. There's one at first base, one at third base, and then there's a 7,000 square foot YG club. It's called the Yard Goat Club by Frontier.
Right.
And that's not everyone in the ballpark gets in there. That's a premium season ticket. Anyone that has a suite, and the dugout suites, as you mentioned, it's unbelievable. If you're in the front row of the dugout suite, like you said, you're actually closer to the batter than the pitcher is. So if you can just, again, with these new ballparks, they have the ability just to bring you so much closer to the action. It's unreal.
What are the odds of getting pinged in the face being that?
Well, there's a net there, so you're...
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
So wait, you have you have a traveler's fun zone? Is that
for
where
the kids.
Bad parents want to leave their kids?
That was always...
Is it a water park?
It's not water. No, it's jump zone. They'll have some, I think, basketball hoops.
All right, so is it
throwing the ball?
So if you're a parent and you want to, your kid's acting up with the other parent, you don't want the other parent to lose out. You're going to go there and
just not even acting up, but the kids may just want to go there and do a jump.
Though, is it?
Yeah, we'll have employees in there. Yeah.
So all of a sudden, wait a minute. All of a sudden, I'm not a bad parent anymore. Peter, if I want to go to the Budweiser Sky Zone,
and you know what?
Off,
interesting how they built it.
My ass if they don't like it.
The kids zone is here, and the Budweiser is right up the steps above it. I'm not sure that was designed to.
And you could probably while you're swigging down a 6-pack, look down and be like, "Hey, Caroline, leave that kid alone. Daddy's up here drinking, and you're down there. I'm watching you."
That's right.
All right.
Good stuff.
Robbie.
Good stuff.
So if any of our listeners want to call in to ask a question to Mr. Dooley, you can call in at 203-992-7776.
Bob, how'd your interview go?
Nailed it.
Did you? Bob's our PGA.
That's great
I'm going to have an announcement next week.
Yeah?
That's great. That's great news.
You don't have one now?
I can't because there's still a couple more interviews going on, but there's a big announcement next week.
He's our PGA professional.
All right.
So you open up on the road this year in New Hampshire, right?
We do open on the road.
Where's the farthest you go?
Down in Richmond, actually. So the league is set up. We go as far north as Portland, Maine, as far south as Richmond, Virginia. That's where we open the season. As far west as Akron, Ohio.
All bus?
That's a nice area.
It's a bus league, complete bus league. So, yeah, you're on... Yeah, you get used to the buses.
That.
Yeah, it's
partying going on there.
Like from Slapshot, playing cars. Got the
They're doing. Matter of fact, did they do it already? They're doing a job fair.
We just last weekend we did.
Damn it! I should have went for the bus ride.
I'll tell you what.
I wanted to be the manager for the bus ride.
This is your calling right here. They're holding out auditions for the national anthem. Peter,
there you go. Yeah, coming up in a couple of weekends.
Yeah, me and my Mercer up on the.
You could belt that out. I think you do a better job than Roseanne did when she did. I think you could beat her. Well, good luck with that.
Should we roll the tape from last week? How obnoxious you were?
I don't think I was very obnoxious.
You want to roll tape?
No.
We're not rolling tape.
You can roll tape. You're not doing that.
We did have a little glitch. PPRNradio.org for the next couple of days until freaking Site Builder fixes our shit. But you can check out the podcast at PPRN Radio on Spreaker /PPinno.
And they got.
Or just go to our website. Go to our website. It's all there.
Promotional stuff going on, almost in just about every game.
Yeah, every game.
There's something which is great.
That's important to us.
This first year is big, so they're going all out. I think it's a good idea.
So your first 3 games are in Rhode Island.
We are in Richmond.
Richmond,
Virginia. We go 4 actually in Richmond. Then we go to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And then the big one is the 13th. That's the home opener.
Are you really watching this?
What?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Harrisburg. Yeah, I know Harrisburg.
Right.
Yeah.
Harrisburg,
So
Pennsylvania.
4 in Richmond, 2 in Harrisburg, 3 in New Hampshire.
The opener won't be delayed with the construction thing.
Damn, you guys don't have a day off. You got
There's
1 or
not
2
many
in
days
between.
off in minor league baseball. And some of those days are a travel day, so those are the days that you're on the bus.
Can I ask you a question, being a sports guy? Can we just get away from the Yard Goats for a minute? Why the hell is the season so long? Why do we have to go through 3 seasons? Why do you have to have spring, summer, and fall? Can you explain that to me, baseball lovers?
I wish I could answer that.
There's a minor league going into the fall?
Yeah, they're going from April to September.
We go April through, the first week of September, but we don't go.
Then that's not that. I think that's what the problem is when it gets to.
We play 140 games. The major leagues play 162.
What's 12? What's for 22?
Yeah, they
it's
keep
all
going.
It's all. Hey, do they have revenue sharing? And maybe but it's.
It's a long season.
If it's
Do you
connected to the Rockies, it's got to be connected with the Rockies.
Do you feel that all the
it's all MLB is the way it's all the Major League Baseball.
Do you feel like I was a big, huge baseball fan until the strike, long time ago. After the strike, I lost all respect for baseball, but I'll still watch it. I mean, I'll do the sports show.
Sure.
But do you feel that the ratings were affected because of the lengthy games, the drawn out playoffs, the 7-game this, the 7-game that?
I think it was exciting. I mean, I'm probably a bad guy to ask about that because I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
I mean, how could the world? Are you kidding me? Cubs World
I'm
Series.
with you on that because
extra innings.
I wasn't judging. I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
I think that's
I'm looking as an outsider. You want to draw in new people.
Well, I mean, I think they did that though. I mean, there were people that I'm sure didn't follow baseball for a while that bought Cubs jerseys just because.
You're talking about a guy that watches Lifetime, Bob, Brian.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so I don't watch sports.
Listen, I understand the question. You're like
you just do the sports show. You don't watch sports.
You're the
I love
most
it.
low interested
I'm
fan.
a Cowboy fan.
If you listen to Jeff, and I happen to agree, this past baseball season was big. It was a home run as a whole. Where I you want to compare it to the NFL, which I thought was a disappointment as a whole, except for Sunday. But there was a
first week of NFL
baseball
playoffs
was really
terrible.
exciting, and I'm a Reds fan, and I still found a lot of excitement with the other playoff matchups, the other teams, the storylines. I thought it was great. So we can only hope that this year is just as good because it trickles down. I think you'd agree, Jeff, to the interest in the minor league. It's just baseball.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is more interest
you want to
in
watch
minor
baseball.
league, though.
That's it.
Well, it's funny, you mentioned about the strike, and I never forget this story. We had an event a few years back, and there was a gentleman that came up to me and said that, just like you just mentioned, he said, I lost a lot of respect, and I basically was turned off with the strike and didn't come back. Now I'm married and I have kids, and my son went with his buddies to a game, and it was a minor league game. It was a Rockcats game, and he said, Dad, can we come down? We had a fan fest, and he said, sure. So he ended up getting a ticket, brought him to a game, and one of our players, Joe Benson, who actually made it to the big leagues with the Minnesota Twins, ended up going down, and the kid wanted an autograph. And I guess there was no pen. Joe went in the clubhouse, got a pen, came out, gave him a baseball, signed the baseball, and he went on his way. And that guy came back and bought season tickets the next year. So I said, it had nothing to do with us. It happened to be he talked to one of our great players.
Yep.
But I told we called the Minnesota Twins and we said, listen, this is what Joe did. He brought this fan back that was basically done, and he said, I'm still not going to go to see the Red Sox or Yankees. That's Major League Baseball. But he said, I'm buying season tickets for my son and I to come see you guys.
I think it's more interesting to me in person than it is
watching on television.
Yeah, it is.
To me, it is. Because it's the whole experience.
That's what I
It's
said.
the $15 hot dogs and the $32 beers.
I told you.
$45 parking.
I said that before.
Not at the Yardgoats game.
No, not at the
Easy.
Yardgoats.
The minor league baseball game experience, whether you're with your friends or your family, I'm telling you, it's very underrated. I think and there's going to be so much energy with the Yardgoats this year.
I think because of the prices with the major league, I
that's
think
a
the
lot to
minor
do with
leagues
it.
do it well.
We do get a lot of that. People
They're
saying
giving back.
that.
Look, you can't beat this. Left field grandstand $6, day of game $8. Field box is $12, day of game is $14. You can't even go to the casino and pull 3 levers and have a
You
good
look
time.
at prices at Yankee Stadium, and they're quadruple that amount.
Yeah, high top swivels, $18. Come on.
And to watch, I mean, and again, you're seeing guys that you might see 12 guys that might be in the big leagues in a game that same season.
And there's not a bad seat in the house
There
either,
really
from what
isn't.
I can tell.
I think the people from Gamblers Anonymous, by the way, Peter, they should be the ones going to the Hartford Yardgoats and maybe staying away from the casino.
I think
keep it simple.
Listen, I
They're
think
gonna
once
spend every dime on the slot machines. Come on.
I think once the casino opens, it'll see a lot more traffic, man. There's going to be people coming from. This is what I think is going to happen. There's going to be people coming from New York going to see the new Grand Casino in Springfield. It's almost open. Or the old MGM. It's a new MGM. So people driving from New York, driving from Danbury,
Yeah, they're driving right by the ballpark.
Right by the
Yeah, they
ballpark,
will.
man.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're gonna loop right around it
They
because
are.
91,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be like,
and you can see it. You can see it from
Yeah.
91. I mean, it's
That's gonna help you
in
big time,
It's in a terrific location.
You
It
should
really
have
is.
my advice. There is you give a shitload of brochures.
all right. So how much is it gonna cost for a PPRN billboard?
Yeah, well, I was gonna
One that lights up.
I was gonna say that too, but no. You give a shitload of brochures for the Hartford Yardgoats to the concierge over there. So when the guy says, "Look, man, I lost every dime I have, so
I have $6
left. I got
left.
$6. Anything you recommend? Here we go. Yardgoats are in town. Take your what's left of your money.
And
Go
if
in
you
there."
live in Waterbury, you can take a $1.75 ride on the new Fast Track.
Right. That's right.
That
There you go.
underground bus
There you
service
go.
that
Yeah,
they
that's
built.
pretty cool.
You go right from downtown Waterbury
You
right
know
to
what?
the bus track, Fast Track.
Right.
And it's only $1.75
It's
from Waterbury.
unbelievable to use that.
Did you know what that is? It's a hidden highway for buses.
Yep.
And
I
there's
heard-
like
I
no
heard something
traffic.
of that.
Yeah.
It's like right. It's like
Yeah, they put them in. They
They put this highway in next to the railroad tracks, and they just some of them is on the main roads, but they built a thing from Waterbury to Hartford for just the buses to go on.
It's the Concord of the buses, right?
Yeah,
Just,
Fast
you
Track.
know,
It was our
zip,
answer
zip,
to
and you're
the
there.
to the
Right.
subway.
Right. Hey, that's it.
We need to start writing that too. 'cause
Get to the park and start having fun. That's it. That's what it's all about.
I know. I can't wait, man. I want to go.
You gotta come. You absolutely gotta come.
Now I gotta.
Well,
I'm
why
torn
wouldn't you
between
go?
two parks now because I'm in the middle. I gotta go to both. I gotta go to both.
That's right.
One supports my wife. The other one is here. I gotta go to both.
You can go to both, right?
Yeah, you can go to both. I don't even think you guys play the same nights.
So Jeff, well, the players, because I know when we did the hockey, my girls would get a lot of pucks come over the net,
Right.
and a couple of guys even break their stick and then throw it into the crowd. After the game, they'd be there to sign the puck, sign the sticks.
This isn't the Bronx.
And I know, Mike.
Take it easy with
this
your
is
nasty
Danbury,
stuff.
Connecticut now, will you? Okay,
Same thing.
but the thing is, the girls love
What's
that. Now,
going on,
are
buddy?
the players? I mean, not that they have to be. They can only be
Right.
so nice. You know, a win, loss. Do they kind of show up?
Yeah,
after
no,
the game
absolutely.
And go into the kids, and because real young kids, my girls don't know. They see a guy in uniform, he looks cool, and they say, "Oh, he's handsome," and then they want his autograph.
Right,
you know?
sure. I think
Meanwhile,
even
he struck out 3 times that night. But they don't give a shit.
Right, they don't care. They want the picture,
Right.
the autograph, and I think a lot of pregame stuff. I think that our guys are wonderful. That's one of the reasons why it works with the Colorado Rockies. The stuff that's important to us as an organization, we want guys that are going to go out in the community. On off days, we'll schedule these guys, and as you saw, the schedule is not a whole lot of off days.
Right.
We'll
No,
schedule
not
them
all.
to go to Connecticut Children's Medical Center to talk to the kids, and they're
Fantastic.
unbelievable
That's great.
about that.
That's great.
And they're like, you know what, we play baseball for a living. If we can, and we're not Derek Jeter, we're not, the next Mike Trout. Oh, who knows? Maybe we are, but right now we're not.
Right.
But if we can make a day better for a kid, and these guys really get it, and that's why we just really like the association with the Rockies too, because that community piece is something that is important to us. And their ownership group in Colorado, it's important to them as well. So that really, it works with us.
Where do you recruit these kids? From college, high school, where?
Well, a little of both. Again, we have no.
You don't, obviously.
We don't. But the Rockies, they'll draft out of high school. They'll draft out of college. There's a lot of kids that are signed in the Dominican Republic now, in Venezuela, Puerto Rico. They're all over. They'll scout all over. I mean, if you're playing baseball at a pretty high level. They'll find you and they'll scout you and they'll give you a contract. And it's kind of interesting because with the Yardgoats at this level, you've got a whole collection of characters. You've got guys that basically signed a contract for a pair of cleats, and then you've got guys like David Dahl that signed for $5 million, and now they're all in the same team, in the same lineup, on the same bus, stopping at McDonald's in the middle of the night, and it's really cool to see how everyone interacts, and everyone knows that, and they'll tease them. They'll say, hey, you know what? This guy's the big bonus baby. He should be picking up the check tonight, and they kind of give it to each other. But it's interesting the way it works because you do have some guys that don't have a lot, and that's till they hopefully make it someday.
Now, you said you do both baseball, basketball. Is there any of those sports that you do play-by-play for? And what do you think would be one of your most memorable games that you've ever called as a play-by-play caller?
I think I've done some football. I've done just basically high school football too, mostly baseball, basketball. I've done some hockey as well, some college hockey. I did an NHL game several years ago. But I'm mostly baseball, basketball. I would say for baseball, the big one is Michael Kadire hit a walk-off home run back in 2001 in a big playoff game. And this kind of came full circle just recently. The story, and I didn't know at the time. I knew it was a big home run. It was one of the biggest home runs and led us to the playoffs. But it was right before September 11th, the tragedy from September 11th.
Wow.
So this was September, I don't know, 3rd or 4th or 5th. It was the week before. And Brad Thomas, who pitched a little bit, you may know the name, pitched for the Twins, and then he pitched for the Detroit Tigers. He actually had a ticket. He's from Australia, and he was going to actually be on that flight that went into the World Trade Center on September 11th.
Oh, geez.
So
wow.
Michael, Michael, no one even really knew this story, and they were doing something on Brad Thomas, and Brad Thomas talked about Kadire hitting the home run and said, if he hadn't hit that home run and won the game, I wouldn't be around right now. And then they went to Kadire, and then it kind of blew up like it was on ESPN and Fox and everything. They said, oh, my God. They basically said Kadire, saved his life. Yeah.
So Seth MacFarlane was supposed to be on that flight, too.
Wow.
The creator Family Guy.
Wow. Now, that being said, that was game 1 of the playoffs. It wasn't like it was a game 5 situation, but still, it really propelled them to win that Northern Division. So that's the biggest probably home run that I've called. Our last ever Rockcat game, it was doing a TV broadcast that day, but Jordan Patterson hit a walk. If you can think about ending a franchise, one of the most successful franchises, minor league franchise, but still professional sports teams in the history of this state. And it ends the final game ever at New Britain Stadium, and it ends in a walk-off home run in extra innings by Jordan Patterson, which I thought was awesome.
And you people say, like, nowadays, like, you see people that are like Peyton Manning and Derek Jeter, how Peyton got to end his career with the Super Bowl, and Derek Jeter, his last game, he got to end with the base hit. And it's like, people are now saying that it's like basically rigged in a way, but would you agree with that? Whole saying how everything is like fixed now in sports, like it's all planned out, or would you entirely disagree with that?
I would entirely disagree.
Fixed? Yeah, I've heard a lot of people saying how
fix is a strong word. You can't fix. I don't think you can fix baseball. You certainly couldn't have fixed Derek Jeter's
football
last hit, but
I mean, to see what these guys have done, No,
it's hard to imagine that stuff fixed, right?
Hey, they're doing a Whalers alumni week.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool.
In July.
Yeah, no, it's not fixed. There's a guy waiting for you to take your job at this. Everyone wants to be in the big leagues. If guys are, back in the day, and you've seen all the movies about the Chicago, the Black Sox and what happened there, and it's been well documented. With the gambling and things like that, it's so different now. I mean, you couldn't. How would you pay a guy off now? There are guys that make $25 million a year. Right. How could you? Back in the early 1900s, I mean, you could maybe buy a guy. You can't do that nowadays. It's just the money is.
There goes my theory.
It's monopoly money. What these guys make at that highest level in all the sports, not just baseball.
Fuckers. But keeping with Jeff Dooley, the announcer for the Yard Goats, and I read like with your bio, you do a lot. You're very proactive. You do diligence with game preparation, and you're looking at the opposing teams, the stats, the numbers, and you're coming across these guys that really like you're seeing their background. So you're creating these storylines, I guess, and I guess it's really got to be satisfactory to you to see them play out the way they're written up, because I think we do the draft. Everyone's like great, everyone's great, but you probably have to keep that like kind of level. He's this, he's that, but then they make that good play, and when it gels with what you kind of hyped them up as, that's got to be really nice for you when that comes through on the air.
And it's all hit or miss.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you get all these projections. Most of the guys that get to our level, I mean, you Google them and there's been a million stories about them. They're basically the best players to ever come out of their towns. I mean, it's just get to this level is ridiculous.
Still.
It's even the guys that someone will say to me, "Oh, this guy's awful. He's batting .220," and I'm like, he was an All-American at UCLA. Right. And I said, not to disrespect another school, but UCLA, he was an All-American. I mean, baseball is hard. This is not an easy game. And these guys, when you get up to AA, AAA, I mean, you're on the doorstep of the big leagues. But, yeah, it is cool to see some of those stories. And, you know, we try to interview those guys, and sometimes a big throw from me is when I tell a story at the minor league level, and then you hear it surface at the major league level a couple of years later, and we're like, you know what? Our fans heard that on our radio network 3 years ago.
Fantastic.
Stay tuned in. We got to go pay a couple bills. We'll be back with Jeff Dooley from the Hartford Yard Goats, and we'll talk to more sports. We'll be right back here at PPRN Radio, All Things Sports. Hey, guys. It's Peter from PPRN. Looking for something to do in Naugatuck? Check out D-Man's Bar and Restaurant. It's a local hub offering delicious gourmet burgers, wings, wraps, steaks, and more. Stop by and enjoy their casual atmosphere sitting in the bar, the lounge, or dining room, or kick back on the patio. D-Man's is located at 1370 New Haven Road in Naugatuck. That's 1370 New Haven Road in Naugatuck. D-Man's is going to be broadcasting live at PPRN Radio Show on Wednesday, July 20th. Go down and check out the PPRN Radio Show broadcasting live from D-Man's in Naugatuck, 1370 New Haven Road, Naugatuck, Connecticut. That's 1370 New Haven Road. Go check out their patio, their bar, and their lounge. They have great food, too. Also, don't forget to check out D-Man's throughout the week for drink specials and local talent. Once again, check out D-Man's, 1370 New Haven Road, Naugatuck, Connecticut. Tell them PPRN sent you. And if you need any kind of work done to your car, you can try DeSilva's Auto Body, located in Naugatuck at 275 Rubber Avenue. Serving the Naugatuck Valley community with the highest quality of craftsmanship for 25 years, we pride ourselves in delivering on our promise of extraordinary customer service and product satisfaction. We have recently expanded our business with in-house experts and industry gold standard equipment. So once again, give us a call at DeSilva's Auto Body, 203-729-5967. That's 203-729-5967, located in Naugatuck on Rubber Avenue. Once again, the Silva's Auto Body, 203-729-5967. Did you just hear how bad that sounded? Well, you won't get that sound at Hat City Music Productions, located at 536 Federal Road in Brookfield. CEO Chris Litwin takes your music to the next level. If you're tired of those basement recordings, those people that you pay too much money for and have you get out within a half hour, well, you won't have that problem. Hat City Music Productions, once again located at 536 Federal Road in Brookfield. Go check out Hat City Music Productions. You won't be disappointed. Tell them PPRN sent you. Aw, fuck! Aw, fuck! J&M Automotive in Naugatuck, Connecticut has been in business for 28 years. They stock over 450 quality pre-owned cars. They have the highest quality cars with haggle-free price, complete financing for all credit scores. They take all traders. They are rated with the Better Business Bureau AAA. They were voted CTI ADA Quality Dealer of the Year. Visit jnmautomotive.com for cars, pics, videos, and descriptions. jnmautomotive.com. They're located in Naugatuck on 756 and 820 New Haven Road with over 250 cars in the lot. Call them at 203-723-5666. That's 203-723-5666. Also, go check them out on New Haven Road.
What's going on? This is Brandon from Valemaya, and you're listening to PPRN.
What's up? This is Mark from Valemaya, and you're listening to PPRN.
Don't forget to listen to Peter Penholz Show only on PPRNradio.net.
The sun and the air, all the shyness that is criminally vulgar. I am sun and air of nothing in particular. You should know, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? was criminally vulgar. I am the son and heir of nothing in particular. You shut your mouth, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? I am human and I need to be loved, just like everybody else does.
right, let's stop taking breaks like it's 3 hours. We're thinking about my show on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Doing music for 2-3 hours. We're back in the studio with Jeff Dooley, media. What do you say? Media connoisseur?
I don't know about that.
Media outletter?
Yeah, media guy, radio guy.
Media dude.
That works.
From
Whatever.
the Hartford Yard Goats. Guys, if you're just tuning in, go check us out, 203-992-7776, 203-992-7776. You can check out the podcast by going to pprnradio.org. And don't forget, listen, this is a new thing coming to Hartford. Hartford Yard Goats, they're Colorado Rocky affiliated, but just not even that, just the field. You can see the field, and you can see, like, if you're like me and you love the city, and you can just see all of the city while you're watching the game. So not only can this be a good night out with the kids, or just even a date that you found on Grindr or wherever you're on Tinder, but this can be like romantic too. Like, and then they have a Dunkin' dugout where there's like so many good things to it. They have a Travelers Fun Zone for kids. They have a Budweiser Sky Bar. They have everything. They got food there. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing there?
They have food
over that
there.
box left and right.
The box is there for a reason.
What is it there for?
They have everything there. Go check them out. And they also have Bear's Barbecue Pit, which if you like barbecue, which I know a lot of people up in the Towland area up there, but Manchester area, they love barbecue. So trek on down there. I mean, the ticket prices, here's the cheapest ticket. $6 in advance, $8 day of the game for a left field grandstand. High top swivel is $16 at the advance and $18 at the game. You can't even if you're late, you're still not going to pay a lot of money. And if you look at their little thing, you're only the farthest walking distance for a good parking spot, and it's off 91 and 84, but the farthest is 5 minutes. So you can even Uber yourself if you want, if you're that lazy. Get in the car, park in the 5-minute lot, call Uber, and they'll bring it to the gate.
We need to hire you. That's a pretty good advertisement for the Yard Goats.
Listen, I work for free.
This is good.
Check out, they're going to be at 1214 Main Street. You know Hartford, man. If you go up 91, you're going to see it. If you go on 84, you're going to see it. If you're coming out of the XL Center, you're going to see it.
Yes.
All you people that are listening to Mixtape Saturdays coming out of the clubs at 5 in the morning, the underground clubs,
You're going to see it.
you're going to see it. You're going to see people cleaning while you're out there partying still. People
You
working
might
on it.
see that video board. You might see that video board from Hamden. I mean, it's gigantic. It's the largest video board in minor league baseball. It's a 40-foot by 80-foot high-definition screen. I was talking to everyone while we're on commercial break, and it was really cool the way you got the video board, and then you've got it supported by a 4-foot by 250-foot LED ribbon board, which starts in right field and stretches out to right center. And then that is supported by two smaller LED ribbon boards that hang from the second deck over the first and third base side. So we have the ability to brand sponsors to let people know that that Mike Trout has just taken over the home run lead. Out of town scores. Red Sox did this, so we can show the video. But we also do some pretty cool things with our fans. Social media, have them tweet at us and put their photos up on the video board and stuff like that. So again, it's the latest technology with the old fashioned baseball kind of in one.
Finally getting rid of that
you
Cotton
gotta
Eye
get
Joe
closer.
bullshit that they do at the Yankee Stadium, because I know that's like pretty boring.
And not only do they have all this stuff, they have fireworks every night, man.
Every
night now.
Every Friday and Saturday.
Every weekend.
Every Friday and Saturday, I think, with the exception of the first one. But 99% of the Friday and Saturdays will have the fireworks.
What's going on with Connecticut? Why are we still honoring the Whalers? Can I ask that?
When you say honoring, what's happening?
They're having a Whalers alumni weekend.
Yeah, the Whalers are still the state's NHL team.
Yeah, but what if the new one comes? Then what do we do then?
That'd be a good problem to have, I guess.
I think that is a good. What is the new one? I think a new one should come.
Not gonna know for a couple of years.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard,
So
but
in
the
the interim, let's
Islanders
have
and
the
Yard.
Barclays Center are going to be probably separating
I'd be
soon because
shocked if
they're
that
saying
happened.
that the arena really isn't made for hockey, and I can agree with that because I've been there for a basketball game, and it's mainly meant for basketball, just the way it's built and everything, and the lighting, the way the lights come down the court. So they're thinking about moving, and Dan Malloy wants to do a whole
Renovate.
Yeah, renovation of the XL Center so we can potentially get the Islanders to come to Connecticut.
Yeah, I saw that story break last week. Yeah, I mean that's real interesting. That he reached out to the Islanders to see him. Again, I don't really know about the situation,
Yeah.
and it's difficult to get. NHL is that that's a major league team, so.
Right. So their first game you can catch on News Radio 1410 WPOP. That's Hartford's news, weather, and traffic station, and also on the iHeartRadio app. Every game that they play, you can hear on the iHeartRadio app, and also 1410 WPOP. I'm not sure what the
POP is still around.
It is. POP is still around.
What's the
yes.
geolocation for POP? How far do they reach? Do you know?
They reach Waterbury.
Yeah,
They do?
it stretches.
Do they bounce off another one or?
1410 is the signal.
1410, okay.
1410. And it's kind of cool because for years, POP was the Yankees' home in Hartford. And then what they did was they flipped the Yankees on the FM, and then they said, we want to be the Yardgoats flagship station. So
they even did some minor league games back in the 70s and 80s when the Waterbury Angels,
okay.
the Bristol Red Sox, the
Okay.
West Haven Yankees, they did some games for them.
I thought it was Waterbury Reds.
They were Waterbury had the Pirates, the Dodgers, the A's, the Reds, the Angels. They had so many teams. They just couldn't keep going and kept coming and going. I mean, Paul O'Neill played for your boy that used to play for Cincinnati.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, there's.
Go check them out, man. This thing's like fun.
Yeah, it's a lot. It is. It's all about the experience. We hopefully we had a good team last year. We have no control over the rosters. We hope we have a good club next year, but we can guarantee you a fun night at the ballpark for sure for the friends and families, or whether it's business people. And we talked to a lot. We had a season ticket holder thing just a couple of weeks ago, and I met a few guys that said, "Hey, we work in the insurance company, and we're just gonna. I don't even have to leave my car. I can just park there." He bought a couple of season tickets. He said, "This is gonna be great. I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna leave work." Grab a burger, grab a beer, and go over to the game.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a lot of fun.
It doesn't get any better than that, like they
right.
say. No
That's
doubt.
right.
That's fantastic.
Now, I just have a quick question regarding the Yardgoats team. Last year, would you say that their pitching was more dominant than their offense, or do you think the batters were better than their pitching? Like with the Rockies last year, I noticed that their hitting was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you had Carlos Gonzalez, Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado, and now they picked up Ian Desmond this year, who had a great comeback season with the Rangers. And their pitching was like, it wasn't like really there. They gave up a lot of runs.
Their bullpen struggled.
Yeah.
Their bullpen struggled.
Do you think there's any like talent right now that they have with the Yardgoats that could definitely help out the major leagues in a couple of years?
Herman Marquez is the first guy that comes to mind. He was a starting pitcher for us, and I always talk about the brand of our baseball being, I think, second to none. I think most of the prospects in minor league baseball are with the AA clubs. AAA's become more of an insurance policy. The AAA teams sign these guys to minor league deals, and it's an insurance policy. Someone gets hurt at the major league level, you don't have to go up and make a trade, lose a prospect where you can just call this guy up. So you got more veteran guys, where at our level, you got more of the top prospects. And and Herman Marquez was a kid that pitched for us, and I thought we had a shot to make the playoffs come early August. We were about 5 games out with probably 25, 26 games to go. And Marquez was pitching, and that would have got us to 4 games to trim the deficit. And he went out there and did not pitch very well, and kind of got shellacked, and we lost the game. And then somehow we got back into it and got it down to 4 games with like 15 to go. So still a chance, probably an outside chance Marquez is pitching for us. And I'm thinking, whoa, we got a pretty good chance to maybe get in. Same thing, Marquez struggles. He gets beat. After the game, he gets called up, goes to AAA, dominates 2 games in AAA, goes to the big leagues, and less than a month later goes out and beats the St. Louis Cardinals.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, this guy couldn't beat the Trenton Thunder in the Easter League, and it just goes to show you how good that these guys are. I mean, it's the same guy. He was pitching for us less than a month earlier, and he went out and pitched a gem against the St. Louis Cardinals. So
that's a great story. And I totally believe that, by the way. I totally believe it, because it happens.
It happens. And so he's won. He's won. Antonio Senzatella is another kid that he'll be with us this year that I like him as a big prospect. He throws like 96, 97, stuff that you can't teach. And Marquez does too. Marquez was 101 when we were in Reading. I was looking at the radar gun. He was 101 consistently, like 4th, 5th inning, 101. I don't understand how these guys hit it. They're just freak athletes, the way that they can hit the baseball.
It's a lot different nowadays than the 80s and 90s, because I had 2 friends of mine playing in the major leagues. Rico Broni. He was drafted by the Tigers back in '88 out of high school, and Darren Bragg, who got drafted after he graduated from the University of Georgia Tech. But the way these players are developed nowadays compared to the 70s, 80s, and even early 90s, I mean, Especially the pitchers. The pitchers, if you got an arm, especially now with the new ways, with this Tommy John surgery, I mean, you're seeing pitchers just recover so much faster.
Yeah, you are. And if you're a right-handed pitcher, I mean, you can't throw 90 anymore. I mean, you really have to throw 95, 96.
Place that pitch perfectly.
Well, just the kids are stronger now. They're seeing fastballs now that you didn't see years ago. They're bigger, they're stronger. One thing that I've noticed this will be my 20th year now broadcasting minor league baseball, is how it's become a full-time job for these athletes now. Back in the day, and going back to a long time ago, the major league guys would even have other jobs. Now, the major league guys, they don't have to think of doing anything besides baseball now. But for the minor league guys, they know that there's this short, really small period where they have a shot to make it to the big leagues. And if they make it, they are set for life. So as opposed to, delivering UPS, and some of the guys they'll work other jobs, but a lot of the guys, especially the bigger prospects that have a real logistic chance to make it, they're training full-time now. They'll take maybe a few weeks off after the season. They're back in the gym. They're running, they're throwing, and they're working out with training staff just because they know that they need to work hard to make it, because the guy that's trying to take their job is at the gym right now.
Right, like I've seen lately, like with some of the Yankee players, like Aaron Judge and Gleyber Torres, they're right now Arizona Fall League just training nonstop. And Torres, they're talking big about, I guess, about how great of an athlete he could be.
Yeah, we saw Judge too. He was in our Eastern League. He was at Trenton just a couple of years ago. So it's cool to watch these guys go through. And one of the things that we've seen in the Eastern League is they're going to continue to pump talent to Major League Baseball.
Right. And every player is going to have a different training program. Like, for example, Judge has probably got something where a pitcher's got something else. And it's going to differ from pitcher to pitcher.
It is. Everyone has their and teams have philosophies on that. Some guys have their own training staffs. But basically, when the teams break for camp, I know with the Rockies, they'll give a packet to each of the guys. Okay, this is what you need to do. This is where we think your strengths are. They can continue to communicate with our personal strength coach that we have that was with our club. His name was Brady Fitzgerald, and continue to communicate with him in the offseason as well as the training staff, just to make sure that you don't want to have any surprises when you get into spring training. And you always talk about the surprises. Oh, this guy's overweight. This guy did nothing this past offseason. With the minor league guys, particularly because they still have a chance to make it and grab that big contract.
Right. Going back to what you said about the guys who have this small window opportunity there, Jeff, maybe to make it big. I mean, I see you have a pitcher on the roster, Carlos Hernandez. He's 30 years old.
Right.
I mean, and then you got a lot of guys, obviously, 25, 20, the younger guys or whatever, but still, I mean, they always say he's more experienced, but it's almost like at that point, the scouts probably looking at them a little bit differently, and there's so much pressure on them. I don't think you talk about age when his window is closing, but you're almost probably secretly rooting for him because he's probably, if he hasn't been called up by now or whatever, maybe he's not going to be, and maybe he's going to be happy just being a minor leaguer and move on, but it just seems like everyone's there. These guys, you could tell, it's the passion is for the dream.
Well,
and when they don't get it, it's sad, but that's the story. You either make it or you don't.
You're absolutely right. And if you have a uniform on, you've got a chance to make it. And one of the great stories that I've seen come through is Chris Colabella, who unfortunately had an incident last year where
suspension, right?
Yeah, he didn't pay, which I'll be honest, I was completely blown away. I know Chris extremely well, and I know his family well, and I took that one pretty hard because, and he did deny it, but he did fail a steroids test and was suspended for, basically 95% of the season and never got a chance to go back.
Games, yep.
It was an 80-game suspension, and then he just basically finished in the minor leagues with the Blue Jays, and they took him off. And here's a kid that really contributed to the playoffs, leading the team to the playoffs the season before. But getting back to his story, Chris basically a kid that played at a division, Assumption College in Worcester, Massachusetts. He's from Western Mass, and he worked extremely hard and never got a chance, didn't get drafted, and kept getting older and older, and went to play independent baseball and played for a couple of years. And he said, some of those independent teams, you never knew. Some weeks you would get a check, other weeks you wouldn't get a check. It wasn't like, our guys are getting a check every week from the Colorado Rockies. This is a little bit different.
Right.
And finally, he got a chance. The Rockets actually needed a first baseman, so they told him, they said, listen, you're a little bit old, but we have a job at Double-A if you're interested. And he said, yeah, I would love that job. And I think he was 27, maybe 27, 28 at the time, went to spring training, and he was really struggling. And our manager basically could see the potential, but it would get him game situation. He was just getting really tight. He had been in a couple of camps before, I think with the Detroit Tigers, he said, and ended up getting released. So he was just really, had a lot of anxiety, and I can only imagine the nerves that you're finally getting a chance with a major league organization. And our manager, who was a good friend of mine, Jeff Smith, pulled him aside and said, "Chris, you made the team. Relax. I want to see what I saw before. Right. Don't press. You're pressing. We can see it." And he went out and hit like 3 home runs in the next 5 games and came to New Britain and had just an unbelievable season. One of the best seasons I've seen recently in the Eastern League. Went to AAA the next year in Rochester, was the player of the year in AAA, and then went up to the big leagues, made the Minnesota Twins out of camp in April, and actually broke Kirby Puckett, the Hall of Famer Kirby Puckett's RBI record. So he's got a record books in April. And then ended up, went after playing, he was kind of up and down. He got off to a great start and then struggled, went to AAA, was back and forth, kind of that 4-level guy, AAA, big leagues. And then he ended up last year, 2 years ago, signed with the Blue Jays and had another solid season, and then unfortunately failed the drug test, so he missed all of last year. And he signed a minor league deal this year with the Cleveland Indians. So we're hoping that he can back everything because he's really a terrific kid.
Yeah, that's too unfortunate. 8-game suspension. A lot of people were getting a lot of suspensions last year. Good players like D. Gorin, 80-game suspension. It's just
they educate best they can. It's everywhere. It's especially for even the guys that go to other countries and play. They're told that, listen, if you have a question about something that you're putting in your body, here's the trainer's number. Take a picture of it. Send it to. He'll let you know. You just can't. Because the rules are different when you go some of these other. You go to Dominican, go to Venezuela. It's not the same. It's not. They don't play in the same rules. So you got to make sure that you're not. And the other thing is, and I believe some of the athletes saying that they didn't know. You can get around some people that can really persuade you to do something. Mm-hmm. So you got to be very, very careful on what you're putting in your body.
Do you think people like Alex Rodriguez, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Mark McGwire, all those who were part of the steroid era, do you think they belong in the Hall of Fame?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
You think so?
If Brady's allowed in there, yes.
If who?
Brady. Mr. freaking Deflategate. I don't care if he didn't do it or not. He was convicted. Okay? And Pete Rose should be back in, too, if you want to let everybody in.
Pete Rose.
Come on, man.
I think at some point they're going to have to let those guys. I think they'll be. It looks like it's going to happen. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the. It looks like it's going to be the way.
Well, maybe it'll be a package deal. Like
I don't think Pete's eligible now.
Can't the president pardon him or something?
Well, I'm sure.
Knowing Trump, he'll pull something.
Obama did 1,000 people, the most in history.
Wow.
Yeah. And the guy just got caught 2 days ago. He got caught buying 20 pounds of cocaine 2 days ago.
The thing is with that, and that is a good question, Robbie. But these guys got to do a presentation. They got to get up in Cooperstown and talk. And I think the people are just like it's kind of like a little bit of a
forgiveness, man. We got to learn to do it.
I know it's forgiveness, and listen, the fans will show up, but they either got to find a way to not bring it up, but someone's going to interject and say, well, you know what, not for nothing, but.
Yeah, and my feeling on Roger Clemens. I think Roger Clemens was a Hall of Famer way before all the
totally
stuff
agree.
happened.
Yeah. Same with Barry Bonds.
And the same with Barry
Alex
Bonds.
Rodriguez, too.
And A-Rod.
Before, I remember looking up the stats and everything before A-Rod started the whole steroids because he started with Texas. He already had 300 home runs, and that was like 8 seasons into his career.
He was better off the steroids than he was on
I tell you what, I think he's got a pretty good future on television, though. I thought he did a terrific job. He did a really good job with the playoffs.
I remember interesting.
Yeah. I remember the one show it was him,
very good.
Frank Thomas, and Pete Rose talking hitting during the playoffs.
Wow. That was great. That was great.
That was phenomenal.
Great. Yeah.
Three of the greatest hitters probably in baseball history just sitting there talking about how they hit the ball, and Pete Rose was talking about how he could judge pitches.
Sure.
And looked absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
Pete was,
they know
he
so much
was-
about the game. It's just great.
He was a gamer for sure.
He's got a big ego, A-Rod, and I don't. He shouldn't go and try to get the 400. He should just stick with broadcasting. Although I would take him on the Reds, but I just think he's going to stick with it.
Yeah, you just lost Brandon Phillips.
Yeah, I know. It's another team rebuilding.
Yep.
How much rebuilding are they going to do? I don't know. I mean, there's nobody left now except the Bat Boy. I think he's in the last year of his contract. Maybe they'll get him out of there too. But this guy Dick Williams. That's a whole other story. But it's. These minor league affiliations for the Rockies, the Rockies are probably, they really haven't. When's the last time I know they had
against the Red Sox in the World Series, right?
2007.
2007.
Yeah. And that was a great team. They
was
were really good.
Yeah, that was an impressive team.
Did you see any guys come through the system then that kind of?
No, we weren't affiliated with them. Todd Helton, though, who played in New Haven with the New Haven Ravens.
Todd Helton, great, fantastic
Whatever
player.
happened to the Ravens?
They're now the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. They
That's
moved
right.
to New Hampshire.
Jeez,
Yeah.
everybody leaves us.
Yeah,
they
And
leave.
didn't
and then
the
they,
Giants have a team too?
Norwich Navigators are now the
Norwich,
Richmond
huh?
Flying Squirrels. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I think the Hartford Yardgoats, they're here to stay. They're gonna
They have to now.
They're gonna be chewing on the grass here for a long time.
That's right. We're not going anywhere.
The
Yeah.
Rockettes were around for a while.
Yeah, they sure
Long
were.
time. Yeah.
But it wasn't. I don't get the. I went to a couple of those games, but this is going to be something special.
Yeah, and it is the the newness and everything. But again, for the traditionalists, I mean, this is the longest continuing sports franchise in the state of Connecticut.
Right.
And this was
Right.
this was first the Bristol Red Sox,
Yes.
turned New Britain Red Sox to the New Britain Rockcats.
Is that
and now
the
Hartford
station? Is
Yardgoats.
that stadium over there, like in the middle of nowhere? The
in
Bristol
New Britain?
one?
Muzzy Field. Yeah,
It is
Muzzy
Muzzy
Field,
That's
yes.
the one.
Oh my God,
I've
my
seen
cousin
that one.
got to play in that.
Muzzy.
That field is
So have I.
just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a really cool place to.
It is.
Just to. I wish I still haven't seen a game there. I know there's high school games there, so I've got to get over there at some
I played.
point. 'cause-
beautiful
I
ball
played
field.
Legion
Did you-
ball back
did
there in
you
the 80s. I
really?
mean, just
Yeah,
to get me on a
just-
field like that. I mean,
Now-
Municipal and Waterbury.
Would you guys think that this is so cool? Jim Rice played here. Fred Lynn played here. Did you think about that back then?
No, because I wasn't a Red Sox fan. But
Oh,
I
okay.
just know I was playing on a field where there was a minor league baseball team. I got more enjoyment out of Municipal Stadium in Waterbury playing Legion ball there also for the same reason. Like, I step on the field as Richie Zisk, Pedro Guerrero, just to name a couple.
Right.
Wally Joyner,
Right.
Paul O'Neill. I mean, that was a rush.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, minor league baseball, it's been in this state for a long, long time.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, I mean, at one point there were, 3 teams. When I first started with 3 teams, there was New Britain, Norwich, and New Haven.
How come like the Stamford area never really got? Was it because it's too close to New York?
I would say that might be one thing, but
You have to build a
They're not-
ballpark now. I mean, it does take it at the AA and AAA level. You need to be in a market where you're going to
Market,
draw.
right,
I
Yeah,
think it's a bad
yeah.
market. I just don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hartford's going
to
to be great. I mean, obviously, it was a major league market for a while with the Whalers, and they have professional hockey there. The Wolfpack are there.
There's a
They're getting-
lot
they're
coming to
getting
that
professional
area
soccer-
within
They're
the
getting
next.
professional soccer
Yes.
team too soon with the MLS. I heard.
Where at Gamble? Not Gamble.
Hartford.
Rentschler?
Yeah, I think they'll be playing in Red. Yeah.
To start, because I think they're playing. If I heard correctly, they're going to start at Rentschler, but they're going to build like a 30 or 40,000 seats. And I forget exactly where it is. There's a golden dome on top of the building.
McDonald's?
No, those are the arches.
Oh, the old Colt 45 buildings?
Yes, that's what they're talking about.
Colt 45. I mean, the Colt
But
firearms?
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, right there.
Colt 45.
They're talking about building a 30,000 seat arena for
That's right
for
downtown.
soccer. Yeah.
It goes from fucking McDonald's to Colt 45.
Only Pete.
Did you hear the story about the bull crashing through the
You know,
McDonald's
you
trying
know
to
why I
get
heard
some nuggets?
when he said gold? Because I watched that movie yesterday about McDonald's. Ray Kroc. That guy was a prick.
Oh my
Oh, you should have seen the way he came up. Watch that movie. Watch it. I'm telling you. All right. So once again, if you're just tuning
tonight
in,
I'm gonna watch it.
If you're just tuning in, man, go check out the Hartford Yardgoats new stadium, Dunkin' Donuts Park. They have everything. They have a Dunkin' dugout they have a Travelers Fun Zone for the kids. They got a Budweiser Sky Bar for the adults. They got a Connecticut Picnic Pavilion. They also got like a team store. They have like a youth center in the beginning that they're going to be doing stuff when there's not games going to be played, right?
Yeah.
They got the youth center. The parking is the farthest away from the field is 5 minutes. So like I said before, you can park and Uber if you're that lazy. You're not even like 10 minutes from the XL Center.
I think it's not about lazy. What if people just want to have a lot of beers? Drink a lot of beers, get loud.
If you need an Uber from the 5-minute lot, you shouldn't even just go. Just listen to Jeff over here on the radio.
Yeah, we get you
Sit at
covered.
home.
We got you covered.
And if you can't make it to
segue, by the way.
Hartford, and if
You took the bait.
as if I think it's going to happen, it's going to sell out for the first 2 years. If you can't, just check out Jeff on News Radio 1410 or iHeartRadio.
Or how about the best of both? Come to the game and bring a Walkman.
What?
Yes.
Listen on there. I love
Did you
that.
say Walkman?
That's the real
Walkman. Do they still?
Did you date yourself?
The real.
You mean a phone? And
a phone,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Bring your iPhone.
I don't even think they make Walkmans anymore.
Don't forget your scorebook like
That's
I used to do in the 70s.
That's right.
It's still understood. The message was clear,
And,
Jeff. It was
and
very
you know
clear.
what? The stadium and the team has a lot of great sponsors, but sponsors ain't enough. They need you. They need you, the fans. They need you to be
That's what
there.
it's about.
They got plenty of entertainment from April all the way to September 6th.
Yeah, no doubt. No
6th.
doubt.
They got fireworks every weekend. They got kids stuff, man. This is the cheapest
It's going
date.
to be awesome. It
Swipe
really is.
left
Yep.
and bring the date.
Swipe
$18.
It's going to
Swipe
be
left.
a great time. I was talking to some people, Jeff, and they were asking. I was telling about this, and they were like, how did they come up with this name, the Yard Goats? And I
Good
think,
question.
I think that I heard a story, but I want to ask you, obviously, first, as to how that came about. Do you know what the story is?
Yeah, you're asking the right guy because I actually was the one that called the winner, and I don't know how in God's name this ended up in my lap, but we had to name the team competition.
Okay,
and we had something like 30,000 entries. They told us they're like if you get like 5,000 or 6,000, we got. I think it's like 30,000.
Great right there.
That had like six or a lot of multiple names, but. So we put our list down. They had a committee that, and I was not on that committee, but they had a committee that put them together. So basically, we were having a press conference. So my boss said, "Jeff, I want you to call the top 10." So at this point, I had no idea it was hard. I knew Yard Goats was one of the finalists, but so I call this gentleman, Andrew Castorna, who's a school teacher in New Jersey, and I wanted to make sure they could come in because we were inviting the 10 in. The 10 that were finalists were getting season tickets for the inaugural season, and the winner gets season tickets for life. So we want to make sure that all were going to be available at the press conference. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
To submit something, knowing you can win tickets.
A lot better than to give something to Taco Bell and say, hey, and a free bottle of Sprite.
So I call Anthony.
You almost made it.
I said, I've got to ask you. Yard Goats, where did this come from? And he said, well, I was on Wikipedia and, going yard and, goats connotation.
Yep.
I talked to my dad and he explained that Yard Goat actually is a train that connects trains and works in kind of like a minor league baseball player. So I was like, oh, wow, interesting. He said, you know what? I haven't been to Connecticut in years. He went to UConn, and he said, I'll take the day off from school, bring my wife, we'll make a day of it. So little does he know, he's going to get to Connecticut and be like the most famous person in the state that day with all the news people and ready. And so I honestly didn't believe it till that day when they told me, they said, do the press release, Jeff Yard Goats is the winner. And we had the finalists, the 10, they got it down to 5, and then we had the 5 finalists. We had kids go up and hold signs. We had goats there still not knowing. And then lo and behold, it was Yard Goats, and the bells fly and the whistles and the streamers all over the place. And next thing you know, Fox, NBC, CBS, they're doing interviews with this guy. And he turned out to be a wonderful person. He lives in New Jersey. And what a good guy. He said, when I wanted to come to the first game, I obviously can't make all the games. So he said, I want to donate. I want the tickets to go. I don't want the tickets to go on you, so I'm going to donate them to the Boys and Girls Club, kids that need the tickets.
Nice.
So he's going to, he's going to come to a handful of games and drive in, but he's going to donate the tickets as well. So really cool guy. So I have people that still, my friends don't believe. They say, "Oh, you guys rigged it." There was no, and I'm trying to explain to him, no, trust me on this one. I physically called this guy. This guy really exists, and he's the guy that picked the Hartford Yard Goats name.
Wow!
And the public opinion is that they like it.
Well, the public opinion,
it was bad.
It went
I'm not
full
gonna lie to
circle.
you. People are just like, but I like going yard. The train thing I heard.
Well, here's the thing: is that people love it's been a big hit now. At first, we were ducking for cover. I mean, people said, "Are you kidding me?" Is it, and it's minor league baseball. You have to sometimes flying squirrels, iron pigs. You have to sometimes laugh at yourself. You really do. And if you can't, but not to insult anyone, but it's insulting the yard goats. So we took our hits. We stayed with it. We didn't panic. And then we unveiled the logo at the Excel Center.
That nailed it.
And it unbelievably nailed it. With the Hartford Whalers colors, the Kelly green and the blue. And brought the Whaler theme back. And last holiday season, the first holiday season we had the stuff on sale. It was actually the number one merchandise in all minor league baseball. It beat the Durham Bulls, which they weren't happy. They're a AAA team, so it was really, really cool.
Nice.
That's unbelievable.
And I like it. The logo was awesome.
Logo's awesome. The logo's a home run.
I mentioned
for
I was
sure.
a Reds fan, and I think the St. Louis Cardinals with their stupid Cardinal, on that stupid bat. I mean, if you'd be taking a shit on it or something, I'd be like, okay, great. But I like the goat, and that is a bat that he's chewing
That's
on,
a bat
right? That's a bat.
Chewing, yep.
He's chewed it down to the nubs, and you kind of realize, there's a lot of funny stuff that can come from the yard goats.
And honestly, I did just like you. I scratched my head. I said, "Really, the yard goat?" And you know what? I was wrong. I mean, that's why they didn't ask me for my opinion. I mean, it turned out to be an absolute hit. It seems whatever we do, that we were on the Today Show last year with Al Roker. We brought the mascots down, and he had the mascots on. We have a jingle that I should have brought the jingle. You can Google and get the jingle on if you want to play it.
Is it on your webpage?
Yeah, it's got to be on there somewhere. Google Yard Goats theme song, and we put it together. We sent it over to ESPN, and they used it on SportsCenter. I mean, it was really, really cool.
How many goats?
There it is, right at the top.
How many goats?
Eat it up. It should be. It's the Eat It Up one. There it is. Okay. No, that's not it. No.
What the hell?
Yeah, it should be. There it is.
Nice.
Eat it up.
Oh, I love it. I love to eat it up.
It's catchy.
Eat it up. It's great.
Eat up the good times. Eat up the fun.
And that's what goats do.
That's right. They eat everything.
And I'm sure there's something they could chew on to keep them from shitting so much all over the goddamn park, right? I mean, there's like one of those laxatives or something.
You know what's amazing though? There it is. That's Eat It Up on your show.
That's great. That's fantastic.
It's the kids love the goats. So what we do, we did
goats
the same.
Are cool, man.
Goats are cool. We did the St. Patrick's Day parade last year, and we said we have to have the goats with the yard goats.
Yeah.
So we had the goats come through. And they stopped the parade. They had to keep us moving because everyone wanted to go out. And kids and adults wanted their pictures taken with the goats.
Oh, man,
hey, selfie
cool.
with the goat.
Yeah, and some of them look mean, man. You want that, have that evil look, don't mess with the goats. We're going to be hitting it all over the yard today.
Are these
all over the yard, goats.
Are these the leader scores from last year?
Yeah. That's Marquez actually in the bottom, the pitcher I was telling you about. He's the one that.
Yep. Yeah.
Looks like a ball player.
Yeah, he's good. And then
what does that mean?
That's David Dahl, the kid at the top. He went to
yeah.
the Rockies last year.
Did he? Where's
he hit
from?
the first ever yard goat. He's from Alabama. He's from Birmingham, but he's a terrific talent. He's got a chance to be a very, very good Major League Baseball
Now, when
player.
these guys come up to play, do the yard goats have apartments and suites for these guys that they stay in, or do they move up here?
Well, they move up here for the summer.
Summer.
Yeah, some will stay at hotels. Others will live, get an apartment or a condo or something. The only thing that we know that we're going to have for the season is our coaching staff. So we have our manager, Jerry Weinstein, who's going to actually coach in the World Baseball Classic before. He's an older gentleman, and he's forgotten so much about baseball than I'll ever know. I mean, he's a really, really cool guy to be around. He's been with the Rockies. He was in the big leagues a couple years ago with the Rockies. Tim Doherty, who was the Boston Red Sox hitting coach a couple of years ago, the assistant hitting coach, he's going to be our hitting coach this year.
Nice.
And Dave Burba, who pitched 15 years in the big leagues.
Dave Burba,
you guys should have him on. He's awesome. He's a really good guy, and obviously knows pitching.
We would love to have him.
Yeah.
We would love to have him.
Okay.
Could we mention your name? And maybe
I'll mention my name.
Can you do some scouting for us on the side?
Right?
So, just a question. Last year, 74 and 67 for a team that really didn't get to play home. That's a pretty good record. I don't know if you guys would agree.
Totally.
Not really having.
Yeah, they played well.
What can fans expect this year at the Yardgoats? Do you expect a lot better now that they can actually play in Hartford, have that home? I'm sure they had support, but just more home support than ever before. Do you think they'll do a lot better this year?
It depends. We have no idea how our roster is going to look. Quite honestly, I'll know more, in a few weeks when we start getting guys dwindled down from spring training. So
just starting basically.
Right. Pitchers and catchers today, and they fill the major league roster. Then the guys, when they have the major league cuts, they essentially fill AAA and AA roster and then A-ball roster. So it's too early. I can tell you they do a good job with the draft, and we've had some guys that I've been impressed with. Yency Almonte is a kid. You mentioned Nolan Arenado, his cousin. Has a chance to be here this year, who's really an impressive player. He was in Modesto last year, which was the Rockies' high A affiliate.
That would be awesome.
So we had a chance to see him. There's a bunch of guys that we're excited that are going to come through at some point. So I don't want to put that pressure on there. I think they did a wonderful job last year being on the road. We did get off to a phenomenal start. We were 18-4 last year in April, which is unbelievable.
Right, yeah. Wow.
And then, they kind of took on water the last month of the season. They had a tough July and a really bad August.
Do you think that they probably traveled the most out of any team in the minor leagues due to the fact that they couldn't really play any home games in Hartford?
Oh, yeah, they were on the road the whole season. Yeah, they did not have a place to stay at. I mean, they basically lived out of a suitcase.
It wears and tears on players, I guarantee. Probably.
They did a really good job. Yeah, you would think, but they didn't show it. They came to the ballpark prepared. They knew that they had to get their work in to get up to that next level, and that's the mindset coming in. They try not to let that be a distraction. Our league partners are wonderful in the fact that they let us in. One of the important things besides the game is getting the development work in. So
exactly.
A lot of people think that, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people, some think that maybe the players show up an hour before the game, like it's a high school game. It's not like that at all. I mean, they're there throughout the afternoon. Some guys have early work at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon where they're doing extra hitting. They're getting their ground balls in. They're getting their throws in. And then that leads to the game time stuff.
Right.
So when we're on the road and we were supposed to be the home team, it was important for the Rockies that we're playing the New York Mets affiliate in Binghamton, New York, that we got the ballpark at 1 o'clock.
That ride sucks.
So there was...
that ride's terrible. It's a 6-hour ride. Anyways, before we go any further, we got to do what we learned. We got 10 minutes left. Their first home game is on the 13th of April here in Hartford. And it's a promotional night, so there's going to be fireworks. It's going to be presented by Dunkin' Donuts. Atlas Pyrovision Entertainment Group is going to be doing the... Boy, I'm getting a lot of plugs today.
You are.
With some hugs here or something. They have all free hugs at the game?
Yeah, Brian.
All right, so their series against New Hampshire starts the 13th, which is the first inaugural game in Hartford. Is that confirmed?
That is April 13th.
So they're playing the 13th.
Yeah, we'll be playing the 13th.
Okay, good. So they're going to be playing starting the 13th for... 7 games straight. They're taking the Sunday off,
Nice.
So they're going to be, 7
I believe that's
games
Easter
straight.
Sunday too.
Yes, it is.
Is that Easter Sunday? Yeah.
So they're playing New Hampshire and then they're playing Harrisburg, all at home, starting the 13th. So there's nothing you can't say or do where you can't go. It's spring break, so get your butts out there and it's support the. You guys been bitching all. Where the hell are you guys? Well, they're here. They're here. You bitched for a year. Guess what? They heard
We
you.
are here, and we're playing the Blue Jays, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, the Toronto Blue Jays affiliate, and then the Harrisburg Senators. Your listeners probably remember Matt LeCroy that played for the Washington Nationals. Matt's the manager for Harrisburg. So come down and mention my name. He'll give you an autograph.
Former All-Star.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might see these guys today in Hartford and see them tomorrow.
See them in the MLB?
Yeah.
In MLB.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what did you learn today, Mr. Robbie?
Well, I learned that we have a 360 stadium for minor league baseball. That's pretty cool because I remember
You have a
just
360 studio. You're never happy about that, but whatever.
just being able to potentially catch a home run ball at a minor league baseball game. That's amazing. Seeing how when I went to Rockets game, you weren't really able to do that, but that's absolutely outstanding. And
sorry, I dialed the wrong number.
The 40-foot video board, I think that's also very
40
very
by
neat.
80. Yeah, it's gigantic. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And I learned a lot more about minor league baseball and major league baseball and their different ways, and like how AA is top prospects, like you said, and when they sign players minor league contracts, it's AAA. And I've learned a lot from baseball sports perspective today. So thank you for that. And,
thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it,
man.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Whenever you guys need something, you let me know. Maybe come out to the ballpark, do a couple of interviews with our players for the season.
What? Definitely.
Bob, I'm in. I'll talk to you later about that.
First of all, I got to apologize for being late, but obviously I had a job interview, so from me to you, I apologize for that. But I had to do what I had to do with that. But not only that, what about
Peekaboo?
I see you. No, but even the experience that you're going to be closer than the pitcher is to the batter.
Pretty amazing.
I mean, that is just sick. You never hear that in sports.
No, you don't.
You only hear about that in porn, Bob.
Well, you would know. Not me, but a lot of exciting times. I mean, not only just with the Hartford Yardgoats, but I got to promote something real quick. 100 win possibility tonight for the UConn women against South Carolina. I mean, it's never been. It's only
great.
Been,
another preemption.
No, it's never been done. It's never been done in basketball before. It's only been done in
just give the girls a title. It's enough. It's hard watching these girls beat people.
Yeah,
up.
but this is going to be their stiffest competition. South Carolina is a team that slows it down. They got 2 girls that are 6'3" and 6'5" that are averaging just about double-doubles. So
they've been saying that for 7 years.
But tonight is going to be a true test for the UConn ladies. So they're on at 9 o'clock.
Are they at
ESPN 2. No, yes, they're at Gamble.
Great.
So a lot of good things with the Yardgoats. A lot of good things.
Took me an hour to get to work Saturday.
Oh, I believe it. But very exciting times with the Yardgoats. Very exciting times with baseball around the corner. And I'll say this: we will be at a few games this year, minimum. Hopefully, we get the whole staff to go and I do a big night.
That'll be fun,
Brian. We could broadcast from there, but
that would be cool.
That would a pregame show.
That would be all for that. Maybe
if they let us,
maybe do a show. Yeah,
we could pull that off.
A pregame show.
Yeah,
I'll do
it.
Shit, we can simulcast your show.
There you go.
We need content. Go ahead.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, you know what? I already had learned what I felt that I was new coming in here tonight was with, and I said it early in the show, the minor league baseball experience. Again, I mean, I know people just think, if you haven't gone to it and you just kind of shrug it off, whatever. I'm just telling you, you're missing out. You're missing out. It's a great time. Okay, it's a great time when you go to some of these parks that maybe aren't as sophisticated, okay? You still have a good time. Now, what I've really learned is from the benefit of Jeff being here today. You did a great job, Jeff, of really expanding upon and creating that additional excitement, from your position, the media relations, and just I just want to say that I think I'll be going to games for sure. I'm excited about the Yardgoats. I think it's going to be something big for Hartford, and I know this. And the frustration level was a lot. People were waiting. They were upset about last year. They're still a little upset now. They're optimistic. Is this definitely happening? It seems like you said it's going to happen.
They were never mad at the team.
Yeah, they were mad at the city.
I wouldn't have showed up today if it wasn't happening. I can tell you that. It's happening, guys. Right. It's happening. It's really.
I can tell, as you can see.
I don't think there's any animosity towards the team.
Well,
we're not going to go there.
I'm in construction. I do construction. I know all about it. It happens.
Sure.
You go through different contractors. There's delays. And so that happened here. But that's water under the bridge now. Looks like the season's going to kick off, and I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you real soon. And
awesome.
We want to thank you for coming.
Well,
today,
thanks
Jeff.
for having me, guys. I really enjoyed it, and it's
did
always
you learn
good
anything?
to talk. I did. I did. It's important for us to be out there, and and I love hearing what people know. And again, there was some misinformation out there, so I just love. And we're here, and if anyone has any questions, they can go to the website and contact us. But, yeah, we're playing on April 13th. And again, we think the world of our fans and our sponsors and our media folks. And, this isn't my ballpark. This is everyone's ballpark. And this is going to be great for everyone involved. So we appreciate you having us out and giving us the time to talk Yardgoats baseball tonight.
Thank you.
Well, you've got some great sponsors, too, by the way. You really do.
I learned Robbie pulled it off tonight. A little nervous, but he pulled it off. I think he lost.
He did great.
I think he lost a few molecules in his head there.
Oh, of course, always
a little bit there.
I learned, balding already.
I learned that Bob goes to an interview and comes back windburned. Amazing how that can happen, but maybe you were up there doing something.
I was getting
Brian.
It was nerve-wracking.
I got to give you a round of applause, man. Wow!
I want to hear about me.
You have never. I don't know what you did to him, but wow.
You were
close.
Fantastic today.
You were amazing today. I want to kiss your feet.
I told you.
And Jeff, what I wanted, and I've been waiting to say this because we got in touch with each other way back in the winter.
Yeah.
And when I said, "Can we do this?" and
last winter, I think, right?
It was last winter, and we said, and I can't believe I kept the email. Or Yahoo kept the email.
Yeah,
I was
they always do.
Yahoo doesn't.
They're
a lot of times they don't.
Wow.
But when I sent the email, and this is when we first started, we had a different sports show, different set of guys. These guys came on, and I said, guys, we have an interest in the Yardgoats have an interest in us, and we have a chance to interview them. And they're like, oh, cool. And then I know what they were saying. He fucking forgot, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I said, no, it's getting close. And he said February. And as soon as February 1st came, I said, and not even within an hour, this guy answered me.
Come on now.
I'm not surprised.
We have
at all.
to do that. We have to be in front of people. I mean, this is
No, I'm saying that's great because a lot of I approached a bunch of other baseball and they didn't ever even answer me back. So I mean, for someone to be a Colorado affiliate, someone to be as big as you are in Connecticut, to answer back, that means a lot. That I'm giving my full 100% endorsement to go watch these guys because this guy Jeff totally is a stand-up guy. And thank you, man, for showing up.
Thank you for having me.
For answering the email back. It's like, you know what it's like for little old announcers like us starting out.
Trust me, we appreciate everyone that either comes to our game or talks about us. And, again, this won't be the last time you see me. We'll do this again.
I hope so, man.
And if any of your listeners have questions, I mean, you know how to contact me, and we can certainly, try to inform them best we can. Again, there's still some unknowns. I think once we get in, we'll know a little bit more about the. But I can just tell you that this venue it's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be great for everybody.
And look out for PPRN out there too, because we'll be out there helping as much as we can.
Cool.
And don't listen. They're bringing something back to Connecticut. Everybody bitches we have nothing to do here. Well, guess what? You do now.
We got something.
You do now, and guess what? Because it's baseball. We got 3 seasons of it, so.
And we're going to be talking. About it a lot.
Fall, winter, and spring.
Right.
Yeah,
I can't see a show going by. We won't be talking about.
We can incorporate
the
local standings and the local.
Yeah.
We can go over their page. Look at see their page has all their stats. Look at it. Watch it. Because we go over stats.
There.
We'll definitely
it will.
Stats right at the top.
Right at the schedule. Yeah. Bring it right
there. So we can go over the stats. We can talk about who the pitchers are. We can do a little thing for our end for you.
I'll send you the game note. You guys go on the game notes list. You got game notes.
Christ, I feel honored.
There you go. We'll add you to the list, all of you. Yeah, so you get
awesome.
Thank you.
You'll get everything.
And we could have Jeff even call in. He'll be busy, but he can call in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it gets a little
quick 10 minutes.
I'm going to hold him to that. We can come freaking interview. Yeah.
Yeah, I can call in call in from on the road or whatever. But absolutely,
that'll be cool. That'll be cool.
Would love
we won't ask any more.
Yeah,
and you'll cater. No, never mind.
I can come on as long as I bring
the day at the ballpark.
If I bring the food, I can come on. I see.
No.
Oh Lord!
All you got to do is bring.
You've done more than enough.
Yes.
You did great, Jeff. Thanks.
All right, everybody. Don't forget to tune in to ppnradio.net or .org for now, and then tomorrow night roundtable with musical guests, and then Wednesday we're live from Anna Liffey's in New Haven.
Anna Liffey's, okay.
And we'll be broadcasting live from there. And don't forget, tomorrow is Ricky's Pickies all day long here at ppnradio.org. We'll see you guys next week, everybody. And don't forget tomorrow night live show. All right, good night, everybody.